Forget all you know about podcasts. We welcome you to an experience uniquely different. Please join us for our coverage of all entertainment on the fringe of society. The candles are lit, the lights are down low. It is now time to welcome our host as he steps up to the pulpit. The sacrifice has been prepared for the midnight black mass.
Ghastly greetings, groovy ghoulies. You thought we done disappeared and run off on you, didn't you? Well, you was wrong, 'cause we're back. It is the Midnight Black Mass here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I am your host, the devil you know, the maniacal minister of the occult, the Reverend the Dragon, Dan Wilson. And we got some fun for you tonight because it's another one of those fly by the seat of your pants episodes. And it's always when we get ourselves in trouble, but we'll find out. Joining me, making his return from his field assignment, the self-proclaimed one-man gangbang, Andrew Alexander. How's it going?
Self-proclaimed hell. I ain't that name.
Our they with blood, sweat, and tears.
If they don't bleed, you ain't doing it right.
Jesus. What's going on?
Nothing. Do you mean like overtime or tonight? Because tonight I fucking fell asleep and woke up just in time for this podcast. So I'm sleepy right now. I'm a sleepy boy.
And we all know a sleepy Andy is a grouchy Andy. So just be warned.
That's true.
And always my pleasure to introduce the third piece of this puzzle, a man who's really kept the podcast going in many ways. Like, I've been doing this podcast for like fucking 7 years now, and it's had all kinds of incarnations and homes and hosts and what have you. And, I was about ready to kick it to the curb and call it quits when Andrew joined and gave it a breath of fresh air. And then, he and I, had a great time when we had all this time to prep. But then after a while, so it just got too busy. We didn't have time to prep stuff, so it just became a little bit laborious for us. But then the man that we're about to introduce here, we added him to the show, and he again brought new life into it to me, and it makes it fun. Like, I really look forward to chatting every week. Now we get the three of us together and just talk shit and bounce things off of each other. The Strong Style Psycho Tank. How is the next week of retirement treating you?
Oh man, it's been awesome. Hell, I got
you love it, huh?
Than I ever fucking did. Oh yeah, I got more heat now than I ever fucking did. So shitting on Paul Lee and his fucking shit show. I'm just gonna make it. That's my goal, is to just shit on this guy for the rest of my life. Andy had the pleasure of actually seeing him wrestle the other night. So, God damn it, I should have went to Lafayette, Georgia.
Man, Andrew, let's hear about that experience.
Well, he'll be
man on the street.
He'll be back in Lafayette, Georgia on September 30th, wrestling Kyle Matthews.
The
guy we know
fuck?
very well. Yeah, dream match. Or a nightmare, depending on how you look at it. Get it? Because Kyle's a nightmare.
Too bad September 30th I will be in Louisville, Kentucky watching Ozzy Osbourne, so I hate I'm going to miss it.
If you're scared of Paul Lee, just say you're scared.
Well, I'm a little scared. I'm scared of them synthol fucking shoulders he's got. I think they're going to bust at any fucking time.
Holy shit.
Fucking A. So out of the business now, no allegiances, can just, but I gotta tell you, and I've badgered you about it on Twitter here and there. But you promised. I was promised a Tank farewell address on social media that was going to just let it all hang out and finally say what you really felt about people. And I'm still waiting.
I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking about it. Well, who the hell I'm going to shit on and make fun of.
Let's pull it out of him right now. Who is the worst guy you've ever been in the ring with? The absolute worst. You rank him, no joke, you rank him top of the list of the shit bird of all shit birds.
This guy named Paul Hatchet.
I remember Paul Hatchet.
I wrestled him once for Chip Hazard, and then they did that benefit for that Collins boy. They got his face broke, and I wrestled him there again, and I was just like, yeah, he's as bad as he was the first fucking time. Yeah, this dude's awful. And, yeah, he's pretty shitty. Probably the most two devastating spinning back fist I ever gave was to this poor fucker. Just because I was trying to knock him out of the goddamn business.
Is that the guy?
In one shot.
Is that the guy that said make it end?
Yeah, make it end. So I tried to make it end, and I fucking backfisted his ass, and he just said, fuck it, I'm done. And
who is the worst wrestling promoter you ever worked for? Whether it be one time or for a decade, who was the absolute worst?
Oh man, the worst. There's quite a few in there, you know. There was a guy in Chatsworth named Clarence Keith. He was pretty fucking bad. He had like a little shack or like an attic where he would take little boys upstairs and do things with them. But I'd heard it was all alleged. Yeah, he was a weird character, man. Then there was another guy I wrestled for in Cleveland, Tennessee. I never wrestled for him. I mean, me and Rawhead Rex went up there, and he wanted us to do a tape fist match. So we're like, all right, cool. And he gives us rolls of Scotch tape. I go, what the fuck's this for? He goes, this is for the tape fist match. I said, I mean, I'd only been wrestling like a couple of, 8-9 months. And me and Rex looked at each other like, what are we supposed to do with this? He goes, what? He goes, that's the tape for the tape fist match. I go, it's Scotch tape, dumbass. So luckily I had some extra tape in my bag, and we used real athletic tape. But yeah, this dumbass wanted us to use Scotch tape. And
the dreaded Scotch tape fist match.
Yeah, man.
It won't hurt any worse, but man, you can get a hell of a paper cut.
And there's been so many places I've wrestled that I don't even remember the promoters' names. Jeff Bowman was another one. He ran Jasper. He was a dipshit.
I got to butt in really quick. So before you move on from Jeff Bowman, here's a funny story that I don't even know if I've ever told you. I always tell people my first official wrestling gig was in Rossville for GXW, and they pulled me out of the crowd to be a ring announcer. But that is actually, in fact, a lie. Me and Muji one time walked up to this shit show in the parking lot of the fucking nursing home in Saudi Daisy when we were 16, and their ring announcer didn't show up. So they had a microphone plugged into a boom box, and Jeff Bowman was the promoter. So that was the first time I met him. And so they told me to ring announce, and I did. Once I heard it was a big mark, I was happy to do it. And fucking the whole show, the soundtrack was the AC/DC live album. So everybody on the show came out to a track from the AC/DC live album.
And he came out in the Thunderstruck.
Of course.
No.
Sure
that was his entrance music. Heat Seeker, that's right. Heat Seeker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was he was a fucking weirdo too. Not to toot my horn, but we came in. It was me and Jody and Stewart Nightbreed, when they had just started, we went in together as like a little 3-man team in Jasper. And he was a promoter, and he wanted me to book the show. So, like, the first couple of shows, we had like 15, 20 people there. And then, like, I started booking, and I brought like Jerry Gordy in and some other guys. We were drawing, 150, 200 people a show. And, and y'all been on shows I booked. I never won a fucking match. And he said I was killing the goddamn town by us. We were doing like a little 3-man thing, and we would run in and beat people up, but they'd always beat our asses. We would have a match, and we'd always lose. And he said we were killing the town, so he fired us. And then we were gone for 2 weeks, and they were back down to 15 to 20 people. And so he calls me, wanting me to come back and book again. So I was like, ah, damn it. All right. So we went back up there and got the house back up, and then he fucking got mad at us again, and we left, and then the show shut down after that. So I did wrestle a kid one time. He was a juggalo kid. He was a backyarder, and he wanted to do like a hardcore match. So I did one with him, and that was one of the first ass whippings I ever handed out. Because it was like the dude pulled out like a bundle of light tubes, and I'd seen some of the IWA Japan stuff, and I was like, what the fuck's you gonna do with this? And he just brought him out, and I just beat the hell out of him and put a bunch of staples in his head and never heard of him again.
Good.
So, and Roger Cantrell, he was a piece of work too.
Oh boy, the stories I have about that guy.
Spending days.
Nickels and times, man. Nickels and times.
That time, y'all had a pretty good thing booked for me and Iceberg against the Steiner brothers. That was like a dream match, and he fucked that up and booked every WCW guy that wasn't under contract with TNA or WWE. And I was like, yeah. And then they canceled the show, and I was like, well, that's bullshit. I already had a plane ticket. I was doing Anarchy the next night. So I was like, well, this fucking sucks. So we ended up going to Tryon, Georgia, and me, I think Clint teamed up against the Hollywood Brunettes in front of like 8 people. And Tracy Smothers was doing curls at the gimmick table.
Yeah, that was a good time. That
that shit was fun. I had Andrew in a fucking headlock, and I look over, and Smothers was doing curls. So I was like, oh my God, look at this shit. So I turned Andrew around so we could see him. That's funny shit. That's the night I back chopped Kyle and said, oh, that was fucked up in front of 8 people. He gave me the Slurpee kick for a receipt. I was like, man, that was awesome. I looked at Andy and I go, this stiff motherfucker, this stiff little bastard.
You probably booked a handful of shows here and there. Who is the worst guy in the ring that you still booked consistently because you just could not book him? He was just too nice to tell no to, so you just kept booking him even though you knew he sucked.
I didn't book this guy just because he was nice. I booked him because I was told to book him. Was fucking Will Platinum, then in Rome. Everybody knows he was a shithead, but Phil was all about him. So he's like, yeah, we need to give this guy a spot. And I think after somebody had shit in his bag a couple of times, I guess he just said fuck it, never came back. So that was our way of getting rid of him.
That guy.
Yeah. I was always told to book him because Phil liked him. I was like, okay, we'll book him. And I think I went to a few guys and was like, man, torment the shit out of this guy so he'll just won't come back. And he never came back. Phil, he was a piece of work too, man. He was like dropping bitch about the crowds, and we drew good. So I wanted to bring in some wild side guys. So I brought in like Jason Cross and Jeremy V and Brandon P and Slim J. And then, these guys weren't like asking for tons of money, but they wanted more than just, gas money. And Phil just acted like the biggest asshole ever. I was like, well, you want people in here? And he would be like, yeah. And I was like, well, we got to bring better guys in. That's the problem with some of these promoters. The shitbird promoters is They just want to use their core group who aren't worth a shit. And you want to bring in some other guys to, make shine these boys up. And, they don't want to come out of pocket another $10, $15. If you're not in the business, yeah, we don't make a shit ton of money. But, $10 or $15 helps out on top of the hot dog and goddamn Dr. Thunder you're going to get.
You'll appreciate this. I saw Phil Hefner Saturday, and I was talking to Adam Jacobs a little bit, and he kind of cut me off. He was excited because of something in the show. He was going to try to get his hands on Phil Hefner. So he said, "Hey man, do you remember all those cheap payoffs we got from Phil Hefner?" And I instantly said, "Nope, I never got any." I had a good laugh about that. So speaking of that, I mean, the answer may be Phil Hefner. So promoter-wise, who is the worst about the payoffs? Who is the hardest to get a damn nickel out of that you work for consistently?
Damn Bill Behrens.
I mean, we have our reputation for a reason.
Yeah,
I mean, I was always told, like, when you're doing TV tapings, that was your payoff, is being on TV, which I understand that. Sometimes Bill would shoot you 5 or 10, but usually on the big shows, he always took care of us. And if we did spot shows, he always took care of us. But as far as, like, just your normal, Rome didn't pay real good at all. I mean, I don't know.
Like, I also look at that, like, in comparison to what the shows draw. I mean, some of those Rome shows drew fucking incredible crowds, and the money was just dog shit consistently. Like, okay, Cornelia, sometimes we might have a packed house of 300, and sometimes we might have 50 fucking people. That's what happens when you run twice a month consistently for 17 fucking years in the same place. So you gotta, be careful about how much money you put out to keep the goddamn thing afloat. I mean, that's the gimmick there. There's some cost to putting the TV together and fucking making it look good and keeping it maintained and paying the fucking bills. So, we got to kind of do a trade-off with the talent. Even the guys that get paid now are coming in for way less than they're getting elsewhere because they want to be there. And, it's been a launching pad for so many. Like, that's the gimmick there. But you look at some of these promotions where, like, I mean, at the Perks, my God, they were doing like fucking $1,500 a show in Rome or in Cedartown. This is the same Rome crew.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that the payoffs probably didn't reflect that.
I mean, Rome, consistently, because me and Iceberg were pretty much booking. We booked it pretty much together for well over a year. And like, even our, like, shitty shows or, not the big shows, we'd have a couple hundred people, and the big shows we'd have 300 or 400 people at Dillard's, and then like Andy and Miller would go out there and do their shit and like not get an envelope at all. I was like, man, that's fucked up. You gotta give them something. But that was just Phil, and being the booker, I didn't make that much more either. So it was just I just had a good time down there, because I had what I consider my boys, my crew down there. Palm of Circumstance and fucking John Arden and Billy Love. We'd bring Kenny Arden and Frenchie in from time to time. New Jack, guys that I liked. We'd try to, have our little core group. And that's why we ran off Will Platinum, because he was the shits. And we brought Abdullah up. Remember that night Abdullah beat the fuck out of Phil? That was funny as hell.
Oh, he busted that fucking picture frame over his head and fucking got the hard way, and that was something else.
The night Steve Lawler was trying to shoot on me, and I got out of it, and then he shot on fucking Tempers. Oh my God! Yeah, boys, I've been in this business 70. Boys, I've been in this business 72 years. I might get color, I might not. I'm like, what the fuck's he talking about? And he had me in just like a regular armbar, and Terry, his brother, was like, he goes, man, he's trying to shoot on you. I go, dude, I got out of it. It's not that big of a deal. So I was like, okay.
Do you
Well, it was a
remember
good
when,
time.
like, it was, there were some crazy stories there. I'm sure we can probably share a few more of them here in a minute. Just like talking about money and things just brought this question to my mind. Do you remember when, like, the difference, like, because when we got in the business, it was still, you know, on the indies pretty much. Nobody really got a guarantee anywhere unless you were fucking a name. You know, it was just like you go and you get paid whatever they fucking pay you. And, you know, and that shit changed over time. Now everybody's like, I got a booking fee, I need this, and then you got to, like, negotiate and go back and forth. And, like, I mean, that was so much better for the promoters. I mean, I guess the way it is now is much better for the boys. But it's still just like, I don't really know when that changed, but it just, one minute you turned around and that was the way things were done.
Yeah, I started, I guess it was like 2004, like the first time I went to Ian's. And he was like, you know, how much you want to come up here? And I was like, what are you offering? And he said this. And I go, well, how about that? And we stuck with that. I mean, I got pretty much the same payoff. When I did tournaments, I got paid per match. And I learned that from AJ Styles. He was like, you know, don't do a tournament by just saying you're going to do, you know, $100 for 4 matches. He goes, you get your guarantee and then so much after that. So I did that for tournaments. So that's when a lot of the promoters was like, that's when I became the king of the one and done. I'd ask so much for the first match and then so much for every match after that, which was fine with me. I was cool with losing first, you know, so I wouldn't have to roll around in barbed wire 4 fucking times in one day.
Makes sense.
Well, who else can we ask shit on there, Dan?
And that, because I went to the Best of the Best tournament. I was booked for some stupid-ass Battle Royal from Combat Zone, and AJ was booked, and he was like NWA champion. So, and they wanted him to go to the finals, and he didn't want to go to the finals. So he got his up-front guarantee and was like, well, how many matches do you want me to do? And they were like, 3. He goes, well, I want this for this one and this for that one. And then he lost first round. He protected himself too. He was in a 3-way, so of course he didn't, you know, get pinned or whatever. And yeah, I learned that from AJ and Bill. Bill was like, if you're gonna do he goes, the whole tournament, he goes, that's just a gimmick, so you should get paid for each match. That's what I tell guys now. I go, if you're gonna do a tournament, ask for money for each match, you know, instead of, I'll do this whole tournament for $50. Well, you're a dumbass if you do that.
Yeah, I mean, wise words from the Strong Style Psycho, youngins. Listen up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I tell you, I made a post the other day about these guys who have been wrestling, you know, 10 or more years. I'm like, if you've been in it this long and you're just now trying to get your name out there and network, you've been doing it fucking wrong. You know, don't wait till you're 10, 11 years in. Shit, you done wasted a lot of fucking time. Because you're probably more than likely in your late 20s by then, and you're fucked. But what the hell do I know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure those guys would say the same thing when they get out of bed in the morning. You know, I mean, kudos to them for, you know, figuring it out eventually. But, you know, if you're young, you don't want to do that. You know, you want to try to get out to places. And like, this is something I preach to guys. So here's some free advice that I don't normally give out on a podcast that I'm telling dick and fart jokes on. As far as fucking, fuck, I lost my train of thought. What the fuck were we talking about?
God damn.
Networking.
What?
Networking. Getting
Networking. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. So it's like the thing I've been telling guys lately is like, it is, yes, you absolutely need to get out there as many places as you can and go see as many sights as you can and experience the journey of it all. But also try to take bookings that have some sort of value. Like, don't just go places so you can say you worked there, because that, I mean, it's cool. Like, if you got nothing else going on, sure, but, you know, make sure you're getting something out of it. Because, you know, if you're traveling 15 hours, I guarantee you, even if you're getting a good payoff by indie standards, you're probably still not making money on that trip. So, you know, make sure you're getting something out of it. Like, there's so many promotions on streaming services now that a lot of fans are watching. So, you know, you want to try to get a place where you're going to be seen beyond the, hopefully, couple of 100, 300, 400 people at a good indie show. Worst case scenario, you know, you might be traveling 15 hours to go work in front of 30 people. And then what if they don't film it? And what if they don't distribute it? Well, then it's a match that happened in front of 30 people, and they're the only fucking 30 people that will ever see it. And so unless you got a clinic from a legend in the ring, you know, getting to go like 30-minute Broadway with some fucking, you know, top guy, then you're not getting anything out of that. Road time, I mean, that's good, but I mean, damn, you can get road time a lot of places.
I mean, fuck. I see so many guys that post, you know, I've had 400 matches this year and blah, 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 and whatever. And I'm like, well, has any one of them goddamn matches made fucking a DVD or YouTube? If not, then you're wasting your fucking time. I mean, do some shows that are somewhat relevant. Like you said, you got Powerbomb's got 50 promotions on there. High Spots Network, there's tons of shows on there that are no different indie promotions.
Smart Mart.
Smart Mart. I mean, if you're going all the way down to Florida to work, you know, they might draw a good crowd of, you know, 250, 300 people. But if that's the only people that see it, then you're really wasting your fucking time. I mean, 'cause I worked a lot of promotions when I lived up north. That Smart Mark would video, and there'd only be, you know, 30, 40 people in the crowd. But I would get with Burns, and they'd be like, "Yeah, this match was intriguing," so we sold, you know, 40 copies of it. So that's 40 other people that saw it, and then that's 40 other people that illegally downloaded it. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
yeah,
the shit's out there.
Well, that's what gets your name out and makes people want to book you. Like, oh, they see you. Oh, okay, I'll see this guy. Oh, man, like, I didn't, you know, he's something different. I want to bring him to my show. And then you can, the more demand you create for yourself, the more money you can ask for. And, you know, then eventually you can be one of these guys that makes a nice living off the indies. There's more of them probably than ever now. You know, there's also a lot of guys out there who just do this alone and are just scraping by, and, you know, kudos to them for putting it all out there. You know, I've always taken the safe route. I've always had the 9-to-5er, you know, even when I was trying to travel a ton.
I always had a job and had insurance. And the thing now is, I remember, you know, 10 years ago, people contacted me for, you know, hey, you want to come work this show? And I give them a price. Now it's social media. All you got to do is get on Facebook and say, I need a booking for this date, and some asshole's going to book you. I mean, it's like, to me, it's just like begging for fucking bookings. But if it works for you, have at it, I guess. I just think it's a sign of desperation.
I think it does a bit. You know, you got, like, if you're in demand, you don't really need to be asking, but I understand, you know, if you're also trying to fill every date on your calendar and pay your bills with wrestling or whatever, then fucking you need as many of them as you can get. So then that comes to catch-22. And, you know, it's another one of the things about modern wrestling. There's a lot of things about the way the business has evolved that I don't like, but, you know, I've at this point in my life resigned myself to the fact that I'm still in it. I'm still contributing to it. You know, there are always going to be things I don't like about it as things change from, you know, what my preferences are. But you just got to learn how to work around that and still try to connect with people and give them what they want. You just got to change with the times a little bit.
Yeah.
I think this is a good time to be in the wrestling business, to be an indie wrestler. I think you should have a good foundation before you even get started. So maybe graduate high school, go to college, and so you can, you have something to fall back on. Go to college and get a good education. And while you're in college, go to the gym, work on your body, study nutrition, work on your tan, study tape, just get ready to start. And then when you graduate college, you got a nice degree, get you a badass job, making 6 figures, so you can afford, to where you don't have to count on wrestling to pay your bills, and you can get started. And then when you're making the 6 figures and you got a nice body because you've been working out for 4 years through college, get you a hot bitch and settle down with her and bang her on the weekend. And by the time you do all that, you'll say, well, fuck, why do I need wrestling? I'm making 6 figures. I got a hot bitch. And then just not getting the business.
It's a good point.
Oh, fuck.
I think that's good advice. But, hey, everything y'all said was good advice, too. So pick and choose.
I mean, there's no shortage of wrestlers, so I wouldn't say it's bad advice.
Yeah, it's solid, sound advice, to be honest with you. But either way.
Man, that's what I tell some guys. I'm like, man, wrestling's always going to be here. It's always going to be around. So, if you ain't making a living at it, then get a job. And like I said, if the job cuts into I get to play wrestler on weekends, and so be it. But, like I said, it's always there. There's always going to be some fucking shit show running somewhere.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And, there is the old saying that wrestlers don't retire, they just stop getting booked. So,
yeah.
to the counterpoint, but, I think, like you said, there's always going to be some shit show somewhere that you can show up and be like, hey, I was fucking, like, old 70-year-old Dan can hobble into the fucking locker room. Hey, kids, I named AJ Styles. Book me. I'm like, all right, cool.
I mean,
that ain't gonna be me.
I get at least one message a week from somebody being like, "Hey, we know you've stopped wrestling, but how would you like to come do this show?" I'm like, "Fuck off." Like, no, I'm. What about I'm done? Don't you fucking understand? Maybe wait 6 months before you ask me, a dumbass.
I can't wait until you start managing as Sir Oliver Humpertank.
God damn, that'd be awesome.
Or AKA the Road Boss, Big Daddy Tank.
I think he should be Tank Williams Jr.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
That's pretty fucking funny.
That sounds like a damn good gimmick right there. Hank Williams Jr.
Oh, God damn it. So what do you think about this sexy star business?
That's crazy. I'd messaged Andy last night. He didn't know a whole lot about it. And I was like, in my 21 years, I had a reason. If I roughed you up, there was a reason, but I never fucking hurt nobody. I never had to break an arm or snap an ankle or I don't guess the whole story's come out if they had heat in the back or what. I mean, I really don't know. It's fucked up that it happened.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was that sexy star.
Yeah, against Rosemary from TNA.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. So nothing's come out about why that happened?
Just a bunch of hearsay. I know Rosemary put out a pretty big statement. Like, I mean, there's been a huge backlash amongst the boys and the fans against her for doing that. And, I mean, I totally get it, I mean, especially now to where wrestling's evolved, it's just, like, so on the table that it's bullshit. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. So, to go in there and try to legitimately cripple somebody. Like Tank said, it's one thing to rough somebody up. I mean, I still contend it's not fucking ballet. It's very physical. Sometimes tempers are going to flare. Sometimes sometimes you need to get slapped around a little to really get with it. Sometimes it's part of the process. But also, you should never try to cripple someone. You should never try to end their career or take their ability to feed their family away in many cases. And so that's a big violation of the code. And maybe in Japan in the 70s, you might have to worry about a double cross if you're the NWA world champion. But the days of really having to shoot are over. And we got caught up in bullshit a time or two. It's like, oh, I'll get that fucking guy and blah blah blah. But like you said, no one was ever fucking crippled. And even the times where guys did that, we've talked about it on the show, so I'm going to say it. Remember when Slim J did that to Sal Rinauro, and he knew he was wrong, and he ate a lot of shit over that and took it because he knew he was wrong.
Yeah, I took a lot of shit too. I'm the kind of one that brought it up. But it was just I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things I fucking feel bad about it now. But at the time when somebody who had shit on all the boys, and it wasn't one of those, like, fucking break it off. It was like, just fucking let him know. And that's what happened, the last time I roughed somebody up was this fucking dipshit at UEW. And, I'm 360 pounds. He's like 185, and I'm working with him, and I'm hitting him, and he's not bumping and taking a knee, so I really hit him, so he'll take a fucking bump. And he's all like, I'm sorry, sir. And my temper I was so far gone then, I was like, yeah, I'm going to beat his ass for a few seconds. But I went back in the back, and I explained what happened and why it happened. He understood. But I went back the following week once my blood pressure had dropped, and apologize to everybody in that fucking locker room. That's just how I do it. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm fucking wrong. Like the whole Mike Levy thing. I've said for years that I was embarrassed to be a part of that shit. Because it shouldn't have gone down like that. And I stood there and let the shit happen where I should have been helping this little fucker. And it's one of the things that I don't talk about a lot. But yeah, I was wrong, and I'll admit to being wrong. And I've even contacted Levy. I saw him last year at a show. We had a little talk. And once again, I apologized to him. So, and he was cool with it. But some people still try to bring that shit up as me being an asshole. I should have been blackballed forever. Well, I took a lot of shit for that. And didn't get booked for about 6-7 months because of it. So, it is what it is.
I don't think you're going to find. I think you're going to find anybody with a lengthy career that hadn't made mistakes. Matter of fact, the only way you gain this knowledge over these times is by fucking up until you stop fucking up. And even when you think you know what's going on sometimes, and you think you know it all, someone is always there, or some situation always comes up to let you know you fucking don't.
Exactly. So this whole sexy star thing, I don't even know who the hell she is. I don't watch too much lucha. And I did see the video of it, and I was like, damn, she tapped out. And then she just kept fucking wrenching on it. I was like, what the hell? So like you said, I know there's been some backstory. I hadn't heard any of it. Don't care. You do that shit in the back. If you got a problem with somebody, you do it in the back.
Yeah.
So speaking of shooting, who's let's go the opposite, not the worst. Tell us the baddest son of a bitch you've ever been in the ring with that you would legit be scared to go toe to toe with, and why is it Pauline?
The baddest? One would be Rawhead Rex, my trainer. He was fucking nuts. Y'all all know he was fucking nuts.
Oh yeah, Rex was something else.
And I would have to say Riddle because he's fucking legit. You know, I've watched videos of him elbowing and punching people in the fucking face, and he made a lot of money doing it. But guys now, I wouldn't fuck with Gunnar Miller just because he's a college athlete. He hit people hard in football. He hits people hard now. He ain't wearing goddamn pads, so he don't care. If I was going to get into a barroom brawl, I would want that son of a bitch on my side. And of course, Gypsy Joe, that old mean motherfucker. God damn. But it was all. I always thought it was. Once that deal happened, and I was like, fuck this business. This is bullshit. Come to find out, he fucking liked me. He was just, he went a little overboard, but when I was hitting him, he was like, oh, so he told the promoter, I like that motherfucker. But then when I saw a video of him beating the fuck out of Taz in Japan, I was like, shit, I wasn't the only one. He beat that motherfucker's ass.
Oh, yeah.
Taz took a hell of a lot more of a beating than I fucking did. Because Taz was fucking running from him and shit. If you haven't seen that video clip, you need to find it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty tremendous.
I was
Kevin
like,
Sullivan
goddamn,
got Taz's ass whipped that night.
Yeah. Got his ass whipped.
Because Sullivan ribbed him.
It was Sullivan, yeah, sold him he goes, who the hell is this old guy? And he goes, he's just a janitor or whatever. And then he was on the fucking board. He goes, hey, why does the janitor have a gimmick name? But he's on the board to work him. He's like, what the hell? He went there and beat the shit out of him.
Well, I kind of thought you might throw my name and Dan's name in there a little bit, but I guess not.
Well, goddamn, you shot on me that one night at the shit tournament.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Give me that goddamn mafia kick. Fucking, I had to change the finish because I didn't know the fuck I was.
He's fucking lying.
After 12 years, I finally admitted to him that he never touched me with that kick. I always told him that he kicked the fuck out of me because we had Rocky Romero believing that he'd kick the fuck out of me. He asked me, man, you owe that kid money?
I always knew
what his deal is. So, Andy, who was the toughest guy you'd ever been in the ring with? Like, you would know, like, he would just fuck somebody up.
Oh, man. Man, that's tough, man. And I've told the story on here before, but I just got a feeling that Billy Buck could fuck somebody up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's one of those quiet guys, man.
Yeah, like
he's
the type of guy. He
He
would never say shit. You would never think nothing about it. But then if it come down to it, he would just fucking murder somebody if he had to.
He stopped a fucking robbery in a convenience store one time. He had to miss a show because this motherfucker tried to rob a convenience store he was in line at with a knife. And Billy fucking, took him down in a fucking cross-faced chicken wing and took the goddamn knife away from him.
Yeah.
He probably super kicked that motherfucker. And another guy that was legit that I'd been in the ring with, fucking Shatter. He was somebody else I wouldn't have tried to fuck with.
Oh, no.
Any guy, man, that military guys like that, I ain't fucking with. Cause you gotta have a screw loose.
No, that man has seen some shit.
Yeah, there's different levels of badass, because when you get somebody just the pure size of a Shatter or a Gunnar Miller, I mean, if they get their hands on you, they fucking just choke you with their bare hand or squeeze your fucking head off and pop your eyes out of your socket or some shit. Then somebody like you or fucking Iceberg, you piss them off and they grab you and smack you in the head a couple times, you'd be fucking loopy as fuck. But like a Billy Buck, like I bet Slim J. I mean, obviously he's got some training and all that shit, and he's a scrappy motherfucker. I bet he could really just fuck somebody up if he wanted to.
Man, I've been hit hard as a manager. Go ahead, Tank. I got a story here. You go ahead, though.
I was about to say, Slimmy's one of those guys, you know, if you're pissing him off, I wouldn't leave a fucking arm hanging because he's going to grab the hold of that son of a bitch and snap it. You better know what the hell you're doing. He's going to break it a bit.
And like you said, Rawhead Rex, if he wasn't a badass, he was just real good at convincing everybody he was. I remember you brought it up, but the first time I ever worked him, me and my old partner, Jason DeVille, back in the day, I'd been in the business like 2 years. We get to the building there at UW, and he comes up to me, and he's like, me and you are working tonight. And I said, okay, cool. And he goes, yeah, well, it's a tag. And I forgot who his partner was, to be honest with you. But it was me and DeVille against him and his partner, I believe. I don't think it was a singles. And he kept on all night. He was just trying to fuck with me, you know. He'd come by and he's like, you ready? And I'm like, yeah, yes, sir, I'm ready. And he just kept fucking with me, and everybody knew his reputation. And finally, my partner's like, man, I'm pretty sure he's going to beat the shit out of you. And I said, well, I don't really think he is. I think he just wants us to think he is. But if he does, he does. And he goes, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. I guess I'll call a backdrop and kick him in his fucking teeth and hope he don't murder me. And he's like, don't do that. Don't do that. And I was like, well, if he's trying to kill us, I got to do something. And we get out there, and it was just business as usual, total pro. He was just trying to fuck with me. And he told me later, he's like, man, you wasn't even rattled at all. And I was like, well, I figured if you was going to do it, you was going to do it. I couldn't stop you. But I definitely, he strikes me as the type that if he got fired up in a bar somewhere, he'd just fuck up half the bar. Like, you couldn't stop him. He'd just keep coming till you fucking knocked him out. So that's the guy. I mean, there's been a couple. There's probably people I'm forgetting. But you remember
I would have butt in. Hey! I would have butt in. Just wanted to say that I've been hit really hard by a lot of people as a manager. Probably because I was also a booker for them at some point. But I've never been hit harder than anybody. Like, never than I was hit by Slim J. Like, that motherfucker put his fist through my fucking face. I mean, it was a receipt because I fucking hit him in the head with the Staff of Righteousness one time, and it sounded off like a goddamn aluminum baseball bat hitting a fucking ball. And I left a big old goose egg on his head, so I knew I was getting mine. But the thing is, Slim's had a lot of concussions, so he always forgot that he got the receipt. So every single time I had to work with him, he would put his fist through my fucking face.
God damn.
Yeah, there were some guys, you know, when I broke in at TWA. I mean, I said this in one little shoot interview thing I did. Some of these guys, just working with them was like being in a street fight every Friday and Saturday with Rex, Rick Justice, Chucky Chuck. So that's the way they were trained. I mean, they were snug as hell. You'd be like, oh my God. And I worked Rex every weekend for almost a year. And then one night he was finally like, bro, we're in the middle of a match. He goes, you've got to fight back. So I hit that motherfucker as hard as I could right between the eyes and about knocked him out. And he goes, okay, we're cool.
Yeah, all the guys I mean, back in the day, I bet Woody could have fucked some people up.
Oh, yeah.
Thunder and lightning.
Yeah, I've seen Woody fuck some people up.
I was saying, I remember that time he whipped Ben's ass.
Yeah, they're in the locker room.
Thunder and lightning. You know, he's fucking beating the shit out of him.
I've always been so mad at myself because I left. I had to leave the show early that day. I was at that show and I left. And then a week or two later, I heard that brought up, and I was like, that didn't happen. And they're like, yeah, at the end of the show. And I was like, fuck, I left early.
That show, I worked Rex. And he slapped me so goddamn hard, I thought he busted my eardrum. And it was just it was a working slap. That's how hard he fucking hit me. I was like, you motherfucker. Makes a good time. We hurt each other more than we hurt anybody else. So I guess we just kept it in the fucking loop. I hit Rick Justice in the head with a golf club one night. I was supposed to hit him in the back with it. Well, he turned as soon as I swung and like kind of moved, and I hit him right in the forehead and split his head wide open. He had to go get like 18 stitches in his forehead. And then we went out drinking that night. I tell you how stupid that sumbitch was.
I'll tell you who's a little badass too is at Jacob Ashworth. I didn't see it, but I heard he about crippled this old part of Anarchy one night. He just made him trip over himself. That broke his damn leg.
Huh?
I'm talking about you, motherfucker.
Oh, fuck you.
That's my homie. Bip, 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 bip.
Poor Jacob. Yeah, I think I mentioned this on the last episode. All the boys were back there a couple shows ago talking about what a fucking asshole I used to be. And me punching Jacob in the face when he wasn't the guy who pushed me off the apron was one of the stories that came up.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a good story.
And I think Kyle is like ill-mannered as he is and like low-key. I think, if he wanted to whoop a man's ass, he would.
Oh, Kyle, man. He knows all them fucking shoot holes. Ted fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Ted, he knows the old, handshake, break your finger gimmick. He knows all of them. Yeah, I would not fuck with Kyle.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. I'm glad we're friends, and we can work snug, and he won't beat the fuck out of me.
Yeah, he's probably a little scrappy bastard too. And the thing there is like, say he's fighting some old dude at a bar. Like, if the dude don't get his hands on him, Kyle's gonna fucking blow him up. Because, getting in a fight, you blow up in about 30 seconds. So Kyle ain't going to. He's gonna run circles around you. And then when you're tired, he's gonna fucking kick you in your kneecap and kick in your balls and kick you in your mouth.
Yep.
Before you even know what happened.
I mean, like, the match I had with him in Canton, one of my last matches, we went, 7 minutes, and it was like a little 7-minute sprint. And bam, 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 bam. And he wasn't even breathing heavy at all. And I was about to fucking die the first 30 seconds in. I was like, good God. I was like, he can fuck me up anytime he wants to, because I can't breathe. Little bastard.
Old Kyle, man. He's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, I sent Dan a picture the other day. I'm not going to mention any names. Hill Daddy. He, what was it, that picture I sent? That motherfucker said being in the ring with me is like being in a torture house or some shit. And I was like, God damn.
Oh, I don't even remember. I blocked it from my memory.
Who said that shit?
Hill Daddy. The man in
Hill
black.
Daddy.
Yeah, locomotive.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah,
Motherfucker's built like a melting stick of butter.
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
You motherfuckers.
Every time I get on his ass, he always sends me a message. We got heat? No, motherfucker. I fuck with everybody. I just fuck with you more.
I just like to fuck with you the most. Looks like we got about...
I was going to ask you before we left, how did the Landmark Arena look? I saw the picture Rick had posted with the lights and everything. How's it look in person?
Oh, it looks great. The lights definitely improved. I mean, you could tell you've seen the footage from prior versus what they put out with the Joey Lynch versus John Silver Powerbomb TV Independent Championship Tournament match that is available for free for your viewing pleasure online. You can go to any of the Anarchy social media and see that, but you can see how much better the lighting looks just on that. So that's a good thing, and we had a good night there at the Landmark Arena. It was one of those unique nights. You know, the talent that we're featuring is starting to blow up. That's what we want. It's always been the model there. You know, get guys over, get them out, and let them be stars elsewhere, and then come put over their experience there. Some more guys want to come, and that's been the way it goes. So a lot of our guys were out doing other shows this past Saturday. So, you know, we didn't have your Gunnar Millers of the world, or Seven, or Brad Cash, or Slim J, or Gladiator Jeremiah, rather. You know, a lot of the top guys were elsewhere on other cards. So, you know, we had a nice evening where we got to showcase some newer guys, and had a hell of a barn burner of a main event with Cyrus the Destroyer and Billy Buck for the #1 contendership. That tore the roof off. And Cyrus ended up winning, so he'll be facing Gunnar Miller on September 23rd when Anarchy returns. We had that Powerbomb Championship Tournament match. Spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3. Okay, you got time to pause it now. If you don't follow anything on social media or haven't watched it, Joey Lynch advanced. So everyone was very proud of the not hometown guy, but, you know, Anarchy featured star, which, you know, for all intents and purposes, he calls Anarchy his home promotion at this point. So where everyone there was very proud of Joey advancing. Got another look at a crew from St. Louis. We have a good relationship with a lot of those guys. And the madman from the Ozarks, Alex Rudolph, is one of my favorite characters in wrestling right now. Came back, and also got to take a look at his former partner in the Viking War Party, Big Frank Wyatt, who was pretty impressive. He had a great showing with Tommy Pinarelli. And, you know, so thinking about maybe bringing those guys in more often. You know, they really want to be a part of it, and really work hard and have a special presentation. So, you know, it's cool to get a look at some new guys.
How much does Powerbomb TV cost?
Powerbomb TV is only $9.99 a month, and you can get access to promotions from all over the world. And now's the time to get on board, folks, because they've just started a whole bunch of live streams that they're going to start doing. A lot of different promotions are going to start broadcasting live on Powerbomb TV. Fingers crossed. We're hoping that Anarchy will be able to accommodate that in the coming months. And so, you know, that would be a whole new dynamic. That's what we're ultimately pushing towards, and we hope we can make it happen. We're almost there. We've just got a couple of technical pieces to finish. But, you know, to broadcast live from the Landmark Arena, in addition to it being on Powerbomb TV. So $9.99 a month gets you all of that. But I got a deal for you. Listen up, Andrew. Listen up, Tank. Listen up. I got a deal. I got the hookup. You sign up today, I got your promo code you can enter. Anarchy. Very simple. You enter that, you don't get just a 10-day free trial that you get every time you sign up for a new account. Oh, no. You get a 20-day free trial. What about that shit?
Awesome. That sounds like a sweet deal, but I got a sweeter deal. I'm starting a site called DDTV, and it's only $2.50 a month. Why is it $2.50 a month? Because everybody knows, and with the DDT, you kick out at 2.5 every time. No one stays down for $3. So it's $2.50 a month, DDTV, because that's a better name. And whoever started Powerbomb TV, they need a sister site called DDTV, and I want a kickback on it. I want $10.
Oh yeah,
$10, and the license is yours.
Yeah, that's right.
Holy shit. Well, folks, we're out of time. Real quick, just give the quick plugs as usual. Follow me on Twitter at Dragons Rejects. Follow Anarchy on Twitter at Anarchy Landmark. We will be returning on September 23rd for the next Anarchy taping, but on September 9th will be the NWA Wildside Reunion Spectacular, one night only, over 60 confirmed returning NWA Wildside stars. It's going to be the biggest bash of the summer. Tickets are on sale, but they're in short supply. Go to facebook.com/Anarchy Wrestling to purchase yours today. And follow Tank on Twitter at Tank_EST1996. And he's also on Facebook under his Christian name, Warren Hullander. And he adds every fucking body that I asked him to. So go ahead and he'll add you, I promise. And then you might block him because he's going to say something offensive. And Andrew Alexander, you actually can find him now. He's come out of the shadows and now become a business mogul tycoon in the world of flea market wrestling enterprise. That's right, the Pro Wrestling Super Shop and more. Tell us about how to find that, Andrew.
Facebook.com/PW Super Shop, Instagram at Pro Wrestling Super Shop, eBay Seller ID, Pro Wrestling Super Shop. You don't have to come to the flea market to get your wrestling fix. I'll ship worldwide, baby, nationwide.
There you have it, folks. For our producer, Fast Eddie Layne, the founder of the Feast on the Midnight Black Mass, I want to give him a big thanks. Actually, Eddie, if you're there and listening, anything you want to plug real quick before we say goodbye?
Actually, if I could, at Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. The home sites are BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and of course, don't forget about the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry products. Rev?
There you have it. Another edition of the Midnight Black Mass is in the books. Keep one foot in the gutter, one fist in the gold, and two fingers high in the air. Good night.